Okay, children, am I audible and visible to you properly? Okay, I was talking about, I was discussing about a democratic state. Now, did I did I explain? Did I? Yes, ma'am, you are both audible. Thank you. Just tell me which was the last part which I have done. I have did I start with the did I explain the features of a democratic state? Just write yes or no. Did I explain the features of a democratic state? Okay, thank you very much. So we have already seen the features of a democratic state. In a democracy, as I have already talked to you, that the sovereign power is in the hands of the people, and this sovereign power they use in the form of what? Giving votes. Why this giving of votes is very important in a democracy? This giving of votes is very important in a democracy because in a democracy, the government is formed by the people's vote. Just now you can see that uh, um, state legislative assembly elections are going on, isn't it? That means elections to the Vidhan Sabha is going on. So, in this, the people's vote is important. Why? Because the party or the candidate to which we will be voting and who will get the maximum votes, that party will win and that party will form the government. So, in a democracy, this is very, very important, giving of votes. Elections are very, very important. Why elections are important? Because elections helps us to elect the best person or the best party to form the government. Now we were talking about a case of Mexico. Do you remember? I had started with the case of Mexico. No, before that I'll just tell you one thing, that in a democracy, what is very important is that elections must take place. In a democracy, one of the most important features of a democratic state is that elections takes place after a fixed interval. That means it can be after 5 years, as in India, or if you see in USA, it takes place after 4 years, or in Britain it takes place after 4.5 years. In Mexico it takes place after every 6 years. So one thing you have to keep in mind, and what is that? It is that in a democracy you will have to remember that the hallmark of a democracy, hallmark means sign of purity. Sign of purity. If I say that India is a democratic state, what will, one thing must be there, and that is elections. If elections are not there, we cannot call a country to be democratic. So in India, you can see that elections takes place at the central level, then at the state level, then at the local level. So in India, we can call India a true democracy. Why? Because elections takes place. But I will give you examples of some countries where elections do take place, but they are not democratic. Why? Because, I have taught you in the features of democracy. When I was discussing about the features of a democracy, there I have told you that the sovereign power is in the hands of the people, it is okay, but the elections must be free and fair. Free and fair means what? The people must be free to choose the candidate or the party of his or her own choice. Nobody should force them. Nobody should come and force them that you must have to vote to this candidate or you must have to vote for this party. Nobody can force them. And elections must be fair. Fair means without any illegal practice, without any forms of illegal practice. Fair means totally in a legal manner. Clear? Fair means totally in a legal manner. So elections must be free and fair. And now I will give you one example of the country of Mexico, where elections takes place after every 6 years to elect the president of Mexico. But unfortunately, Mexico cannot be called a democracy. Why, Because in Mexico, I think I have taught this part also the last day. Once again, I'm repeating. One of the party, the name of the party is PRI, or the full form of this party is Institutional The full form of this party is Institutional Revolutionary Party. You know, although in Mexico elections takes place after every 6 years, even then you cannot call you cannot call Mexico to be a democracy. I know that I have taught, once again I'm repeating, because I have started with this topic. Because in Mexico, what happens, although elections takes place after every 6 years, but no other party can win. Why? Because this PRI, or the Institutional Revolutionary Party, it uses all kinds of dirty tricks. It uses all kinds of dirty tricks to remain in power or to win the elections all the time. So this election is not free and fair. The election is not free and fair. Why? Because illegal practices or dirty tricks are followed in order so that the PRI always remains in power. So although elections takes place in Mexico, we cannot call it to be a democratic country. Why? Because the elections does not take place in a free and fair manner. Because for any party, because for any country to be called as a democracy, the elections must be free and fair. Clear? Now we will see the example of another country, and the name of that country is China. In China also elections takes place for electing the president of China. But even then you cannot call China to be a true democracy. Why, Because in China one party is there, and the name of that party is the Chinese Communist Party. This party is very, very strong in China, and it is for this reason, China is not known to be a democracy. Instead, China is called as a single party dictatorship. Single party dictatorship. Because this party, what happens, in China, please pay attention all of you, in China, all those parties, those who follow communism, those who follow the ideology of communism, only they are allowed to contest elections. Only those parties which single party dictatorship, and dictatorship is ruled by anyone. And here one means that single party, here the party is referred, so I have told you it is known as single party dictatorship. Dictatorship can be one ruler also. One ruler can also be a dictator. But here in this case, it is not ruler, but it is the party which plays the role of a dictator. So I have written this single party dictatorship. It is not known to be a complete democracy. It is a single party dictatorship. Why, Because this CCP party, the Chinese Communist Party, does not allow any other party to contest elections. This party does not allow any other party to contest elections. Only those parties can contest elections, those who have communism as their ideology. Only those parties which have or which follow communism as an ideology, only they are allowed to contest elections. Others are not allowed to contest elections. For example, there are 8 parties in China who contest elections. For example, party A, B, C, D, E, in this way parties are there. And all these parties, they follow communism. They follow communism. That means the names of the parties are different, but the ideology means the principles which they follow is the same principle as the CCP follows. And these parties, those who follow communism, only they are allowed to contest elections. Why? If, for example, party C wins, indirectly this party also is a follower of communism. So no other party is allowed to win. Who has muted me, dear? Can you hear now? Okay, thank you. So only in China, no other party, that means if a party is there which follows another ideology, for example, capitalism is an ideology. So if a party is there which is following capitalism, that party will not be allowed to contest elections. Clear? So no other party is allowed to contest elections. Only those parties are allowed to contest election, those who follow communism as an ideology. So if any party wins, A, B or C or D or E, whichever party wins, it is a victory of the Communist Party of China. So you see that in China, although elections takes place, China cannot be called a democracy. Why? Because the Chinese Communist Party the Chinese government allows only those parties to contest elections which follow communism and no other ideology. So this is one of the example is of Mexico, another example is of China. Third example, as it is given in your book, so I am mentioning the third example. Although now Pakistan is turned into a democracy, Pakistan, some couple of years before, in Pakistan also elections takes place. But you cannot call Pakistan to be a democracy. In fact, Pakistan is known to be autocracy. Autocracy. What is autocracy? Or military dictatorship. Or military dictatorship is there. Why? Because the military of Pakistan, it is very, very powerful. Although elections takes place in Pakistan, you cannot call Pakistan to be a democracy. In fact, it is known to be autocracy. Autocracy means it is military dictatorship. In Pakistan, before this, do you know who is the present Prime Minister of Pakistan? Anybody of you? Yes, very good, Imran Khan. Yes, Nandini, I am asking you, I am giving you the answer. As Nandini has asked me, that means people in China and Mexico, they don't object against this. Yes, one thing I'll tell you is that, in Mexico and China, there are certain You know, in India, as you see, I'll tell you the difference, please wait. You know, as in countries like those who are thoroughly democratic, like India, here you have freedom, you have several freedom, like freedom of speech, expression, freedom of mass media, freedom, you know, the opposition parties are there, but in China or Mexico, you don't have these kinds of freedoms. You know, the mass media, the newspaper, the magazines, all are actually controlled by the Communist Party or the party which is in power. There, the kind of freedom which we exercise here, that type of freedom is not there. So people, they don't have that opportunity to object or to protest. How will they protest? Yes, yes, obviously they are forced to agree. Dictatorship means wherever the word dictatorship is used, it mentions that something is done to you by force. Democracy, it is for this reason, you know, democracy is regarded to be the best form of government. Why? Because here the people have those kinds of freedoms. They can protest, they can oppose. But in countries like Mexico, in countries like China, in countries like Pakistan, you know, the ruling party or the military which is there, it is so very powerful that the people, they don't have that courage, they don't have that strength in them to vote, sorry, to protest. And the one who was, Jasmine is asking me, Miss, what is the difference between communism and capitalism? You know, communalism is actually a follower of socialism. Communism is known by the name of scientific socialism. Now what does that mean? I'll tell you. In a country following communism, there, you know, all the resources of the country, should be made public resource. Public resource means under the control of the government. If it is under the government, all the people can use them freely. But in capitalism, what happens? You know, there are certain groups, certain industrialist groups. What do? They have all the power in their hands. All the resources of the countries, all the resources, all the capital of the country, they are actually used by those few people. As for example, in India, the Ambanis, the Tatas, the Birlas, they are all capitalist groups. The whole capital is in their hands. Whereas a socialist country or a communist country will believe that all the power should be in all the resources in a capitalist country. In a capitalist country, all the resources are in the hands of few people. All the resources are in the hands of few people of the country. And as the resources are in the hands of few people of the country, all of them cannot use them. No, India, this is then one, again you have written, ma'am, Jasmine, then our country is capitalism in ideology. Unfortunately, you know, India, if you go through the preamble of India, you will find that in India it is written, India is a socialist, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic country. India follows socialism, but again you will find that there are certain capitalist groups also in India. So I will tell you that India follows a mixed ideology. Together with capitalism, they also follow socialism. Yes. India, you know, it follows a mixed economy. Although preamble mentions that India is a socialist country, but unfortunately, this socialism is not followed completely as it should have been followed. Clear? Yes. Theoretically India is socialist, but practically it also follows, you know, it also follows capitalism. But because who are these Ambanis and Adanis? Who are they? They are obviously, they are capitalists. Did you follow? And in Pakistan, although elections takes place, even then we cannot call it a democracy, it is an autocracy. That means rule by the military. And just recently under Imran Khan, the democracy has once again been established in Pakistan. Now I will come on to that part of your syllabus of this particular chapter. It is that what are the advantages of having a democracy? Can anybody now, from here, so much of discussions we have done, can you tell me that what are the advantages of democracy then? What are the merits of a democracy? Yes, that means very good. The power is in the hands of the people. The power is in the hands. Autocracy means rule by the military. Very good. Some of them are giving answers why democracy is regarded to be the best form of government. Yes, because in a democracy, you know, the sovereign power is in the hands of the people, and elections takes place where people can exercise their right to elect, right to vote. Yes, people enjoy several forms of fundamental rights. This is very important part. People enjoy various kinds of rights and freedoms. One more thing, you know, one more thing why democracy is regarded to be a best form of government, it is that, you know, in a democracy, if the people are not satisfied, with the government, they can overthrow the government. This is another very good reason why democracy is regarded to be the best form of government, because the people form the government, and if the people are not satisfied with the government, the people, yes, this one somebody, Jasmine has written, yes, the rulers are, it means don't write rulers, the government is answerable to the people, and if they do not function properly, what will happen? They will be removed. And one more thing, one more merit of a democracy is that, you know, whenever any decision is taken, people's wishes are taken into granted. What the people want, whenever certain laws are made, remember, whenever certain laws are made, the people's decision is given priority. Whenever laws are made, yes, very good, proper consultation, yes, people are consulted before any decisions are taken in a democracy. Next day, only one point will be left, that is disadvantages or demerits of a democracy, and with this I will complete the first chapter. Yes, all of them are writing, yes, very good, these are correct answers. Okay, thank you very much, dear. Next day I will complete the chapter and I will start with another chapter. Okay, thank you to all of you. করছি, এবার একটু করে দিন না, দেখিয়ে দিন তো আমাকে কী করে করতে হয়। কি এবার আমাকে